extending a loan of $12 million to Carnegie Municipal Council Staff Welfare Association for the purchase of a parcel of land. The Carnegie Municipal Council guarantees the prompt, full and complete performance of any and all required duties and obligations of the Welfare Association to the bank, and full payment of any and all indebtedness due to the bank by the Welfare Association under the terms of the loan agreement set out by the bank and under the following terms and conditions. Number one, that subject to the above limit, if the Welfare Association fails to repay the loan, the Carnegie Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the Welfare Association's obligations. This includes the unpaid principal amount of the loan, plus accumulated interest and cost, in witness whereof the duly authorized representatives of the parties hereunto set their hands and seals the day and year first above written. And you have signed the agreement, and Dr. Alukeda signed the agreement in relation to the bank guarantee. Now, to start with, this was our point yesterday. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether you had sought legal advice. Let's assume you have the powers to sign the guarantee. But were you advised accordingly?
I sought advice, and the advice was that we needed a general council resolution. But at the same time, too, the issue of the credit union came up.
Yes.
And I was not given that advice in that regard. And I realized that this is something that the Staff Welfare Association needed badly, or really needed to be able to continue with their activities. Activities that they have planned and have thought that would bring them more funds and would take the welfare to another level in improving the affairs of the staff in the council. So I thought that, well, if the credit union's loan a guarantee can be endorsed, so I might as well give the association the guarantee for them to be able to move on with their activities. And also, because of the fact that the mayor was referencing the Local Government Act.
The mayor was?
Referencing the Local Government Act that it stated that I need a general council guarantee, general council resolution to be able to give the guarantee, and which was not found anywhere in the Local Government Act. So I thought maybe he was trying to disadvantage the welfare association, because for me, the way I saw it, when it comes to people who are close to him in the council, like the councillors and those who are close related to him, anything they require from the council is good for the council. But when it comes to the ordinary staff of the council, anything about them is not good for the council.
Yes, that we have received evidence of. The mayor will answer those allegations or assertions, no doubt. And you see, there are different limbs to this, and I want us to separate each limb with respect to the issue of the guarantee. First, you have given evidence to say that this is an occurrence before you even arrive at the ministry. Sorry, at the area council, that CEOs would guarantee in relation to loans, and then so there would not have been need to get a security council. General
council resolution.
General council's resolution. Mm-hmm. You have said that, yes. And you have made reference to a case in point in relation to the mayor's aunt, who was the president of the credit union.
Yes.
In relation to the area council, mm-hmm. And you were not asked to get a general council resolution for that one. Correct? Yes. And so if that is the case, and the two are one and the same, and I agree with that assertion, if the two are one and the same, then that would not be proper and fair on the side of the mayor. And of course, he will have the opportunity to answer questions and assertions along these lines. But if that is proven, then that would not be proper. It would not be fair, unless he has other reasons as to why. That is one issue of its own. Whether you have the right to sign the guarantee as a CEO, going by the law, the commissioners will also decide that. I had said that you are under the direct, as a CEO, under the direction and control of counsel. The commissioners will decide up to what level this direction and control. It does not mean anything you must do, you must seek the yes of counsel. No, we can't operate along. I have a reporting responsibility as well. And we discussed that yesterday. You must, even if you take actions without informing, you have to report subsequently. Your answer was there was no time to report because it was within a week and then you were attacked with these allegations. But let's put that aside. Now, you have signed and you believe it was in your usual powers to sign. You have done it before. You have done it for the mayor's aunt. There was no problem. Now you have done it with the association. There seems to be a problem and you can't understand that. But even going by as a CEO, acting within your powers, which you genuinely think you were acting, would it not have been advisable to seek advice, perhaps? Because if you look at the wordings of the bank guarantee that you had endorsed with Dr. Keda, for instance, it says the one and first and only condition that subject to the above limit, the welfare associations, if the welfare association fails to prepay the loan, the Cardiff Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the welfare association's obligations. And this includes the unpaid principal amount of the loan, plus accumulated interest and costs. How do you understand this?
That is to say that if they fail to perform as expected, the management will ensure that the welfare association is held accountable.
No, he didn't say that.
Because if you look at the other letter, the demonstration letter,
yes,
it is stated that all payments that are due to the welfare association will be domiciled to the bank.
Yes.
Yes. So it was now the responsibility of the management to ensure that any payment that is due to the welfare from deductions from the staff salaries will be paid into the welfare account at the bank.
Let me read that, and then we will reconcile the two. The letter of the 24th of June 2021 says, and I read, addressed to the Managing Director, Ajib Bank Gambia Limited, Banjul de Gambia, domiciliation undertaken, further to the letter of institutional guarantee on behalf of the Cardiff Municipal Council, Staff Welfare Association, in consideration of the Ajib extending a loan of $12 million to the association for the purchase of a parcel of land. The Cardiff Municipal Council herein undertake to domicile monthly payments due to the association deduction from council staff to Ajib with immediate effect until the full payment of any and all indebtedness due to the bank by the welfare association under the terms of the loan agreement set out by the bank, in whereof the duly authorized representatives of the parties here to set their hands and seals the day and the year first above written. Now this was 24th June 2021. It says that you will undertake to pay monies from the accounts to Ajib Bank.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
But again, that's why I asked that you seek for legal advice or any other advice. The guarantee that you have signed stated, and I read again, subject to the above limit, the welfare association fails to, if the welfare association fails to pay, the Cardiff Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the welfare association's obligations. Now, how do you understand that paragraph?
That is just like I explained. If the welfare fails to perform,
yes,
the management of the council will ensure that any monies that are due to the welfare will be paid to the bank.
No, now I'm telling you as a lawyer, will bear the burden of paying the loan.
Maybe according to the lawyer's language.
Yes.
Yeah, but from our perspective as management,
yes,
the implication for me was to hold the welfare association, the executive, accountable to pay the loan fully.
How would you hold it accountable if they don't have money?
Because it's the management. The payments are from reauthorized payments.
These are legal documents. Do you understand that? You
Yes.
agree? These are legal documents.
I do.
And it would have been prudent. Another lawyer may have a different interpretation as to what it means from us. But that is the more reason why you should seek for advice. That is the more reason. The idea that two people can have different interpretation as to what it says. When I read, I see that if A fails to pay, B must pay, in simple language. And unless you have somebody else who reads it different, the idea that it even suggests that would probably warrant any CEO to be more careful to seek for proper advice. That is not, in fact, in contemplation of the idea that you have the power to sign. Even if you have the power to sign it, even the mayor cannot tell you not to sign or not to sign. Even if the mayor or the council has no power to tell you to sign or not to sign. Let's assume that is the case. For your own responsibility, it would have been prudent to seek for advice. You get it?
Advice was sought in both cases, and it was given in respect to the order and denied in respect to the...
So our position, we move on, our position is, at the level of the lawyers here, is that the guarantee that you have signed would tie the Caribbean Municipal Council in financial obligations. That is at best how we understand it. And again, even if the mayor is to give you go ahead with the guarantee with respect to the aunt as well, without following due process, he would have also been wrong to not forward this to council and get a resolution. You understand the point?
Yes, I do.
Yes, so, but again, like I said, it will only be fair to wait for him to come. And so we will move on. The issues regarding whether you have the power to sign or not, I had said, unless there are questions, I had said the commissioners will make deliberations on that. Yes.
Yes, Madam Sonko, with respect to the same guarantee as it's been read to you by counsel, it is correct that there is nowhere in the agreement that stated that the land would be used as guarantee, even though it is valued for less than 12 million, as you said, as you testified yesterday.
This is not the agreement between the bank and the welfare. This is just guarantee between the council and the bank. So that will be stated in the agreement between the bank.
Was there an agreement?
Yes, there was from the bank, between the bank and the welfare association.
Do you have a copy of the agreement?
I should be able to.
Please note it so that you bring that agreement. And,
yes.
Just for the purpose of clarity, we do believe that the agreement is very explicit. And what the agreement said was that in the event that the association, the Staff Welfare Association, is unable to pay, the council will be held liable. And it's very clear, it's not ambiguous, and I believe that the instructions to wait for a council resolution was in order. That is my view. Council, we may proceed. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. My concern is, how do you receive approval from the mayor? Is it by verbal or by writing?
Some is by writing, and like in the case of the credit union.
For 800,000, you need, doesn't that mean that you have overgone your bounds to, I think your limit was 500,000? And the next threshold, the mayor has to append his signature or to give approval. And in cases like this, if the money is very huge, you would want documentary evidence. Why didn't you mean it to the mayor to say, we consent that you give us approval for this, so that at least in the, either on a minute sheet or on the letter itself, then he would have written approved, and then you can go ahead. Because you see, that's the reason why we are having this problem, or why you were having this problem. A verbal was given, for the 800,000 and the rejection was given for the 12 million. And you take it upon yourself to say why is one approved and the other one is not, so therefore I'm going the way I think I should go. Don't you think so?
I agree with you, but on the last one, I think it was based on the fact that the investment was in the interest of the staff of the council.
Now, may I come back to the chairperson's concern? And you said you have documentary evidence to that. If the council workers fail in meeting their obligations with the bank, the council is liable according to the contract or the whatever that has just been read. Let's take, for example, if you have 200 staff who benefited from this land, and now you can only do 100 deductions, and the other 100 have been retired or has left the service or whatever, you have a shortfall of 100 people contributing to that. How would you have settled that difference?
Like I said yesterday, the land itself was used as a collateral as well.
It was?
Yes.
And you have documentary evidence
yes,
for that? Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we move to another issue in relation to your statement, page 14, second paragraph. You said, I was not happy with the fact that if a councillor falls sick, for example, Councillor Habib Sise and Councillor Basiru Sar, the mayor would call me to his office and instruct me to help facilitate treatment for that councillor at the expense of the council. And it was as it was them, the mayor and his councillors, that passed a general resolution to put an embargo on loans and medical insurance in the council. On the other hand, if a staff falls sick and seeks support for treatment, the mayor would instruct me not to approve the request because of the embargo on loans and medical insurance in the council. Is that correct?
That's right.
Now, yesterday, we were dealing with the issue regarding the joint meeting with Contracts Committee and Task Force on Waste Processing.
Council, before we move on, sorry, once again, I have this copy. I believe the original copy was submitted to the investigators, but this is a copy for a request for medical support from Councillor Habib Sise, which the mayor himself endorsed for us to pay.
Let me please see.
Yes, and you have other vouchers also, other payments in respect to Habib Sise attached. And there was a staff, I think I mentioned about that lady whose son needed an operation all the way to Dakar. But the mayor referred the lady to my office to help when there was the embargo already in place on medical insurance. So there was no way that I could have helped that lady except to refer her to the Welfare Association. But in the case of Habib Sise and the other councillor that was mentioned, Basiru Sar, he personally called me even before them making the request to his office to intervene, to help them to get treatment.
Yes, so please hold this document. Perhaps in your second, when we are after break, we will deal with the vouchers.
Yes. And in the case of Habib Sise, we initially gave him to get treatment in the country. Then he came back with another request to say that he was not realizing improvement and that his sickness was a spiritual one and he needed further support from the council to help him travel to Casamas to get that treatment. And in that case too, it was approved by the mayor.
But why? There was an embargo.
That is what I am trying to bring out here. In the case of the ordinary staff of the council, the embargo will be important. It will hold. But in the case of the councillors, the embargo will not be
Will not
important, yes.
All right, we will come to that issue. We will discuss that issue in depth. Now, I had asked whether you know of any lawyer that works with the council at any length in relation to whether they attend committee meetings or the companies you create, they are part of the companies you create, aside from Council Yasin Senghor and Senghor Law Practice?
The only lawyer that, now I recall,
Yes.
the only lawyer that I am aware of is the mayor's brother,
And who is the mayor's brother?
Aziz Ben Souda. But the meetings that he attended was in respect to the setting up of the Kanifi Municipal Transport.
So he had been attending meetings?
Yes, he has been attending meetings, and he was serving as an advisor, from what I understood, as an advisor to the mayor.
But I'm not sure whether you were aware in 2018 when there was a new dispensation, the Aziz Ben Souda's office were councils to the area council. Were you aware of this? Until it was handed over to Senghor Law Practice.
I was informed, but that was before I became the CEO.
Yes.
But I was informed that they were the retained lawyer.
Yes.
Of the council.
And then the reason of transferring to Senghor Law Practice is issues of conflict of interest. So why would Mr. Ben Souda, as of council, appear in relation to the setup of KMT?
Well, for me, I was just told that he was advising the mayor.
We have the KMT, but we also have the minutes of the meetings that I had read to you, and I will read again for the people that were present in attending this meeting. And it says, the contract committee members, the deputy mayor Musaba, councillor Bakau Newtown Binta Jane Jalo, chief executive officer KMC Sainabou Matin Sonko, director of services KMC Lamin S. Sanyan, director of finance Ali Keita, deputy director of finance Sherif Njai, director of planning KMC Nima Kamara, procurement manager KMC Fatumata S. Cham, an expert Dawda Bari, and Omar Kamara, another expert. That's the team of the contracts committee. Then you have the task force members, representative of National Environment Agency Maria Dumbia, former legal counsel Aziz Abdul Bensouda,
yes,
lawyer KMC represented by Yasin Senghor, and governance advisor KMC Philip Spencer. And then you have the ones that were absent: Alpha Bari, private sector, Suleiman Cham from MOFA, and Bafode Sanyang from Energy and Petroleum. Now, not only did Mr. Bensouda attend the KMT, but this is the task force for the waste processing management.
that's right.
So why would that be the case? Did you not raise an issue of conflict of interest, or you didn't see any issue of conflict of interest?
Obviously, there is conflict of interest in it.
Why was it not raised? How was he appointed?
But at that time, I think I just newly started my job as the CEO.
Yes.
So obviously, I found it there.
And this is a meeting that we were discussing the issue of the waste management in relation to the fencing and the tender process.
Yes, that's right.
So, and we have Council Yasin Senghor is the advisor or the legal representative of the company that ended up winning the fencing project. That is Bajam. Were you aware of this?
No. I heard that during the testimony of the procurator of
Bajam
here.
So why would you not do due diligence? What was the reason for not doing due diligence to the members that will attend the meetings and make decisions in relation to awarding contracts and tying public funds?
Council, when I joined the council newly, I found them send out the bids.
Yes.
The invitation for bids, and the bids were already submitted to the council, and a date was already set for the opening.
Yes.
Which was done in my presence. I think that was my first engagement with the contracts committee.
Yes.
Yes, and
no, but we have received evidence. What I have doubt with, and which we will have to ask questions from the relevant people, is that we have received evidence that, of course, Mr. Bensouda is the brother of the mayor.
yes,
And was the former counsel of the KMC.
yes, Ami Bensouda and co.
Yes, and then the idea that there was a handing over to Senghor law practice, or they moved to KMC moved to Senghor law practice because of the issue of conflict of interest.
Yes,
But Senghor law practice represents, we have evidence at the commission, represents the mayor in his individual capacity, and KMC in its capacity as well, and also Bajam. So what was going on? We don't understand.
Well, in that regard, council, at the time, I was only aware of Senghor's representation of the council.
Yes.
But that of the mayor was not to my knowledge, and that of Bajam too was not to my knowledge.
But you saw, when you saw our CEO, those that were to be present in meetings of council must have been formally and duly and properly appointed. So as CEO, was it not to your knowledge that Abdul Aziz Bensouda was the biological brother of the mayor?
I knew that.
Did you not raise that issue? Do you not think you should have raised the issue? And Bajam company, being awarded the fencing project, were represented by the council's lawyer.
Well, for me,
their lawyer was present.
No, it was not in that meeting that the contract was awarded.
I understand.
Yes, a separate tender process took place.
I agree.
Yes.
I understand.
And that was handled solely by the contracts committee.
Yes.
So for us at the contracts committee, we were doing everything professionally. So this information that you are just saying, I ran about it here in the commission. I'm just getting to know about them here.
I understand, but I'm just saying, when probably you would have done, or the contracts committee would have really engaged in due diligence procedures to detect, because one of the issues that is prohibited strictly by our laws, and particularly as well in relation to local governance, the Local Government Act, is issues of conflict of interest. And where your interest lies, you cannot take part in deliberations. You cannot take part in deliberations. And we should not, under any circumstance, be afraid to say it. So when we appoint people, for instance, I would expect, if you act in the capacity of as a CEO or working for any, in relation to any contracts committee or decision making, we abide by the law, regardless of the outcome. There was a pure conflict. In my opinion, you cannot really explain it in any other manner apart from it being a conflict of interest.
Right, counsel, but at the time, me as the CEO, I was not aware that Yasin was representing the mayor in the mayor's capacity.
Yes.
And at the same time representing the council.
We have,
and at the same time,
we have evidence because we have received communications that Senghor law practice represents the mayor in his individual capacity. So, and we have evidence that Senghor law practice from the witness that as well Senghor law practice represents, and from the documents of incorporation.
To be frank, I am just learning about
Bajam, and Bajam was awarded the contract to friends of the friends of the Bangladesh side. How would we be sure, or anyone be sure, that there were no issues of favoritism?
There were no issues of
favoritism. That Bajam won the contract unfairly, and that there were other competitors they should have probably would have won. At
the time of the contract award, I, as the chairperson of the contracts committee, was not aware of that.
Now let me.
Because Bajam was a new company to me.
Yes.
And all the other companies that bidded too were new to me. So I was seeing them or looking at them as the same.
Yes.
Yes. Just looking at the company who has the capacity to be most responsive to our needs at the time.
And so those who were tasked with the decision of deciding whether Bajaham would be the most responsive, part of the people who sat in these meetings were highly conflicted.
That meeting did not determine the award of the backwater fencing.
I know, but it may have influenced not only the meeting, the idea that people that were conflicted were taking part in these discussions in itself alone. The minutes read, for instance, let me tell you. It says evaluation of submissions to backward fence tender. The meeting discussed the urgent need to construct a fence with barbed wire surrounding backward dump site in order to make the site secure and access controlled. It was noted that the original tender did not include pre-financing, and the original inclusion of solar lights along the fence should be removed. The meeting discussed the bidders who have had issues in the past and the bidders which have the ability to pre-finance and mobilize quickly. The council's budget of $10 million for this activity was highlighted. It was agreed that the three most competitive bidders should be invited for direct negotiations later in the day. This was a meeting that the lawyer of three of the parties were present. Discussed strategy for emergency approach to waste processing partnership. The meeting discussed how the recent fire at backward dump site affects the need to swift action to better manage backward dump site through establishing a waste processing with a private sector partner. Many members of the task force emphasized the need to avoid the risk of trying to solve a long-term problem with a short-term solution. So the task force were actively taking part in these deliberations. Other members highlighted the urgency of the situation and the potential value added by a waste processing partnership. The fire risk of dry season were noted. It was noted that the boundary fence will help mitigate some of the issues. Members noted that the financial, technical, and information constraints faced prior to the fire remain a constraint today. The need for an independent feasibility study with detailed technical information was raised. The task force agreed to invite the bidder with sufficient technical experience, ability to mobilize in country, and willingness to work without a power purchase agreement from National Water and Electrical Company to direct negotiations later in the day. The task force and the members are a representative of National Environment Agency, Mariatou Doumbia, former legal counsel Aziz Abdul Bensouda, lawyer KMC, represented by Yasin Senghor and Philip Sen. These were the task force members, and they were to invite the.
I found the task force already formed.
No,
at the other council, and I don't have any.
Hear me out, and understand me. I'm not accusing you of any wrongdoing. I am saying there existed a clear conflict, and if you read the minutes of the meetings, even the task force had to engage the bidders, and one of the members of the task force is the lawyer of the bidder. Represented the bidder, even continues to represent the bidder. And I'm just saying, moving forward, probably when we have contrast committee meetings, now you are a CEO in, is it Caravan?
Yes.
Probably you may want to engage in due diligence up to the level that you can, of course, naturally, up to the level that you can and reasonably do to know the people that, because the law says that in deliberations where you are conflicted, you should not even take part. You understand that?
I agree.
All right. Any questions before I move on?
Yes. In addition to what Council has just said, let me just find out from you. From the minutes of the meeting, did you realize that an identification of the person that is supposed to handle the contract was already made?
That was done at the contracts committee level.
Okay.
Yes, that was done at the contracts committee level. Okay. And because it was done at the contracts, you know, when the bid opening took place, the contracts committee also went further to do the evaluation.
Were you part of the task force?
As the CEO.
This task force, that is the minister.
Yes, yes, as the CEO, I should be the ex-officio member of.
Did you attend this meeting?
Yes, I was there.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Now, as CEO, one of the TOR that we have to ask is where do you know of the appointment of counsel that represents the area council? Law firms or law offices that represent the area council, do you know the process that was followed? No?
Ask the question again, please. Repeat it.
You have a representative, a Senghor law practice, was appointed before you came in.
Yes.
And you came in which month?
I came in March.
March
of 2020.
When you came in, was the agreement renewed with Senghor law practice?
I found the agreement existing already.
Yes, but it appears that the agreement was renewed.
Yeah, it was renewed in my presence.
In your presence?
Yes.
Now, I have questions regarding that.
Okay.
We have an agreement between Caribbean Municipal Council and Senghor law practice, yes, in Senghor. It is dated the 22nd of July 2020. It's marked as LGC/JC/KMC/003. It says, whereas the client is desirous of retaining the solicitor as its legal petitioner for the period beginning 12th day of June 2020 to the 11th day of June 2021, 1 year period, correct?
Yes.
And the agreement reads as with respect to the terms and conditions. But how did you give an agreement to Ms. Senghor? What procedure was followed? Did you follow procurement process? Any procurement process?
In the renewal process, because she was already contracted.
Yes.
I want to believe the procurement process was followed in contracting her.
We don't have evidence of that. The evidence says, according to the GP, there should be requests for proposals sent to three law firms at minimum. We don't have evidence of that. Do you see any evidence in relation to the procurement that was followed to contract Senghor law practice?
No. I was only informed that the contract expired and needed to be renewed.
Were you given the contract that expired?
No.
And is there any provision in the procurement that says you can automatically renew without following procurement process? It has expired, it's no longer subsisting. Would you not have really followed, and at least to know you have value for money, you at least consult other lawyers. There are lawyers around, there are law firms around, at least minimum of 3. Do you not think so? That would have been the best. So who gave the instruction to extend this contract? How did you have the instruction?
Obviously, it came from the mayor's office. And because I came in new,
yes,
and he was kind of putting me through in those regards.
The procurement regulation. Can I have the regulation, please? Procurement regulations. The act. It guides you in relation to, it guides you, or let me say or any procurement organization that is supposed to engage into procurement to follow certain rules and regulations. When you came in newly as CEO, were you familiar with procurement?
Yes, I am.
You were. And you know that the rules are strict and should be followed?
In fact, I requested for a training, a refresher training in the procurement rules.
Yes.
Yes, and that was sponsored by the UNDP. Now,
if you go by the manual first, which has talks about briefly about procurement, it tells you page 48, section 607, that this is the procedure for request for proposals. This is the open tender version for procurement of consultancy services. It provides a competitive process among shortlisted firms that takes into account the quality of the proposal and, when applicable, the cost of the services in the selection of the successful service provider. You understand that? So it has to be a competitive process. So was this a competitive process?
No, I don't think so.
Then
Because I was just asked to sign the renewal.
yes.
Yes, for the renewal of the contract.
Yes.
Yes, I was just asked to sign the renewal of the contract.
The Act reads, and I page 34, procedure for procurement of consulting services, that Part 2, to present the procedures to be followed in the case of the request for proposals method, provides a competitive process among shortlisted firms that takes into account the quality of the proposal and, when applicable, the cost of the services in the selection of the successful service provider. The procuring organization shall submit a request for proposal for the approval to the authorities applicable. After the procedure for the solicitation of the participation, the first stage involves an assessment of the quality and technical aspect of proposals. In the second stage, the financial proposals are evaluated, and you have the preparation of shortlist. A shortlist of at least 3, but not more than 6 bidders who possesses the necessary professional and technical qualifications and competence, financial resources, equipment, and other physical facilities, managerial capability, experience in the procurement object, reputation, and personnel to perform the contract shall be prepared. In order to establish the shortlist, a procurement organization may seek expression of interest by publishing a non-bidding notice with the information prescribed in Sub-Regulation 1 in the local or international media. The information requested shall be the minimum required to make a judgment on the bidder's suitability and not be so complex as to discourage consultants from expressing interest. Not less than 30 days shall be provided for responses before preparation of the shortlist. The shortlist may comprise entirely of bidders from the Gambia for procurement with a value of, and the list goes on. And you have a column for section for issuance of request for proposal. You have avoidance of conflict of interest. Consultants shall provide professional, objective, and impartial advice at all times, hold the client's interest paramount without any consideration of future work. Consultants shall strictly avoid conflicts with other assignments or their own corporate interest. You see, when we follow the rules, when we follow the regulations, we would have better service to the public. We would be doing justice to the public. I guarantee you, I know, because I'm a lawyer, I know Senghor Law Practice is not the only law firm in the Gambia.
Right.
Do you understand that? There are other law firms in the Gambia, private law firms in the Gambia.
Right.
And so therefore, it is only fair and prudent to subject the appointment or the contracting of any law firm in the right manner. So you should not have allowed even the mayor to even instruct you to renew. That would be in violation by council itself. But you said you came newly?
I came in newly, and imagine if I should have done otherwise, what would have been the outcome of that, given the fact that with the Staff Welfare Association, what I have been through already.
And I read the conflict of interest part, that also would be in relation, would be very much in line with respect to the contracts for Bajam and any other contract the solicitor may represent contractor in our contract. It says that part 3, sub 3 of 97, page 35, that consultants shall not be hired by any assignment that would by its nature be in conflict with their prior or current obligations to the government of the Gambia or other clients, or place them in a position of not being able to carry out their assignment in the best interest of a procuring organization. So what was happening in KMC was in clear violation, at least to my opinion, in my opinion, a clear violation of the relevant laws of the land. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yesterday you asked for who appointed Yasin Senghor as the secretary.
Yes.
So I want to believe it's the mayor because I have my nomination to the Board of Directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport here.
Mayor, please.
Yes. So I believe it's the mayor who wrote the nomination as well for Yasin Senghor.
Mayor, please.
Okay, here it is.
We applied to tender the nomination of the Board of Directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport, 26th of August 2020 to Mr. Sainabou Matin Sonko, Chief Executive Officer, Cardiff Municipal Council. I'm signed by Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Lord Mayor, Cardiff Municipal Council, into evidence as an exhibit.
A letter dated the 26th of August 2020 with reference KMC/MO/041/K01 addressed to Mrs. Sainabou Sonko Matin, Chief Executive Officer, Cardiff Municipal Council, with the caption Nomination to Board of Directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport. The letter is signed by Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Lord Mayor, Cardiff Municipal Council. It is copied to the Chief Executive Officer, KMC, Director of Planning, KMC, Clerk of Council, KMC, Governance Advisor, KMC, and Lawyer, KMC. This letter is admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/SMS/KMC/007.
As the Commission pleases. Now, please tell us about KMT, what gave rise to the birth of KMT, and what you know about the company. Why was it formed or incorporated?
When I came in as a CEO, I found them also sent out the invitation for bid.
Yes.
Yeah, for interested companies or businesses or individuals to bid for the setting up of a Cardiff Municipal Transport.
Yes.
Company. The bid opening was done in my presence. I think on that day we opened it for the municipal transport and the market infrastructure development.
Yes.
If I am right. I'm not sure whether the fencing was also included, but I think we did it for about 2 of them.
Yes.
When we had bidders from TK Motors, from a company called Nofly, and I think Espas came in initially, if I am right. GTSC, Yes, GTSC. I think these are the 4 companies I can remember. After the bid opening, we did the evaluation and we had discussions with each of the bidders. TK Motors made it clear to us because what we wanted was to have a partner who will come in with some kind of equity, bring in your capital, your resources, and a partner with the council to set up the municipal transport. But TK Motors made it very clear to us that they are not partnering to deliver the transport services. They are selling. If we want vehicles from them, they tended to supply the council with vehicles, not to partner. So they backed out. So it remained, I think, GTSC, ESPAS. ESPAS was interested in partnering. I think Mohamed was invited in one of the meetings. We had a discussion with him, but could not have an agreement with him.
Why? Do you know why?
I think it was thought that the council was not going to benefit much from the partnership at the end of the day.
Okay.
So we call in the next bidder, Nofly.
Yes.
Yeah, represented by Modu Zakaria Sow. We had discussions with him and eventually agreed to terms with him. We sent the award to GPPA and GPPA approved. We took things from there with Nofly.
Yes.
So after the approval of GPPA, then we were really engaged with Momodu Zakaria Sow. He was coming a lot to the office and he was even given an office at the KMC annex. Yes. To start running the affairs or setting up the company. And he was the managing director, he was the manager of the municipal bus transport.
Yes.
And thereon the board was set up. And like I said earlier, in one of those discussions leading to the formation of the board, Aziz Bensouda was present. Yes.
Why? In what capacity?
As an advisor to the mayor, according to what the mayor told me.
But the council cannot advise the mayor in this capacity. That would be conflict.
Well, there was nothing I could do about that.
You should raise it. Why did you not raise it? The idea is that the mayor represents council. So these activities, were they the personal activity of the mayor in his individual capacity, or a project embarked on by council, which the mayor represents?
It was a council's project.
Exactly. So the same reason as to why there was a change of council with respect to the conflict of interest issue still applies.
Then some of the meetings was on Zoom because of it was mostly in the period of the COVID-19.
And who will present in these meetings?
Myself, the governance advisor at the time, Mr. Philip Spencer.
Yes.
Aziz Yasin Senghor, the mayor himself, and Momodu Zakaria Sow, until the board was formed. Yes, when we formed the board, or when we had a board, the board took up the discussions. Yeah, and I think when Mr. Aliou Senghor was the chairman of the board.
Aliou Senghor?
Yes.
Was the chairman in any way related to the secretary? The secretary was Hassan Senghor?
Well, their surnames are the same, but I cannot say whether they are related.
You did not find out?
No,
you didn't find out?
I did not find out.
Okay. Please proceed.
Yes, so, and we had agreement with Momodu Sow. Council was supposed to provide a subvention, an annual subvention of $5 million
Yes.
Yes, and I think if I can refer to the agreement,
Yes.
I would be in a better position to explain it.
Yes,
But from what I can remember,
yes.
I know council was supposed to come up with a certain amount of contribution annually. And out of that contribution, $5 million was to be provided by council annually. And I think 80% was supposed to be provided by the partner.
No fly.
No fly.
We will give you time. We can give you time with the permission of the chairperson.
Yes.
To refamiliarize yourself with the agreement. And then we can deal with the issue of...
Right now, I don't have access. Like I said, without an order from the commission.
We have the
agreement.
The KMT documents submitted.
Okay.
And you can see the registrar, Mr. Kamara.
Yes.
And then the chairperson will instruct Mr. Kamara to give you access.
Yes, thank you.
In relation to the chairperson may, not will, sorry for that, may give you access to review the files. If that is given, then you can consult the agreement.
Thank you. So
Chair, may we apply that the witness be given access to the agreement? The KMT document, yes.
Yes, the registrar is instructed to allow him to have access to the agreement that is being referred to.
As the commission places. Now, let's leave the issue of KMT. Well, let's just talk about, let me ask you a few questions about KMT, and then when you come back, you can go into specifics.
Yes.
You have something to say?
Yes. I said after signing the agreement with Nofly, few months into the agreement, he could not come up with the capital that he was supposed to bring along. So after reviewing our engagements with him, and after giving him time, we realized that, it was realized that he would not be able to do so. So his contract was terminated.
Yes.
Yes. That's how the contract, but then already council had already committed $5 million.
Yes.
Towards the management of the municipal transport.
Yes.
And the payments were being done at the time from that account.
Was the $5 million supposed to be every year, do you recall, or was it supposed to be a one-time payment?
I believe it was supposed to be annually for some period, yes.
And do you know whether the council was able to get any other partner in relation to the KMT?
No, when the contract was terminated, the then Balit project manager, Bakari Singate, was appointed as the manager, the new manager of the municipal transport.
Bakari Singate.
Bakari Singate. And because it would not be legal for council to proceed with the municipal without another partner, because that's what it was meant to be, a partnership. So I was called upon one morning in the mayor's office, and I was asked to be the 1% shareholder of the municipal transport.
Do you have the document?
I don't have a copy of that because I left these documents in my office.
Yes.
And could not access them up to date.
And you agreed to take 1%?
For me, I was confused because I didn't buy any shares and I did not contribute any capital to the company. So I could not understand how come they made me a shareholder.
It appears that there were no problems back then, so the working environment was okay. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? At some point, you fell out with the mayor, but the idea is that probably moving forward, you should be asking more questions and possibly saying no to certain things that you do not understand.
Thank you.
Do you not think so?
Yes, that's right.
But maybe when we come back as well, that 1%, we will discuss it. So, before you engage into the partnership with Nofly, were there any due diligence done to know whether Northfly would be in a position to meet up with their financial obligations? Because you can't sign the agreements, commit funds, and then before you realize the company you want to partner with cannot come up with their financial obligations. That would not really suggest any form of due diligence exercised in even making a decision to partner with Northfly.
I believe that was that was done by the lawyer at the time. Yasin Senghor was tasked to do the due diligence on Northfly. Yes.
Do you know whether there was any document evidence presented to know whether in fact their financial standing would suggest that they can meet up with their obligations?
I want to believe the recommendation was positive. Otherwise, we would not have gone ahead to sign the agreement with him. But when we access the file of KMT, I think we should find the records of those meetings.
Proceed.
Yes, okay. Is your system functional? Yes, counsel, you may proceed.
Now, just to wait for you to come back in relation to KMT, we have the issue of appointments or employments that were done in your statement, page 12 of your statement, where you have said that the council has an establishment and appointment committee that is chaired by the councillor of Ibo Town Ward, Habib Sisi, that is responsible for appointing staff at the lower category and contractual appointments as well. This contract has made a lot of political appointments in the recent past that do not follow the local government service regulations, particularly in the case of Kan Mustafa Kani, known as Kanyura Kani, who was initially appointed on a contract basis as advisor to the mayor, but was also tasked with the management of the Bakwari dump site at the time. During this time, he managed to get the mayor with the former acting CEO Jaya Cham to approve $1 million. Now, Kan Mustafa Kani testified. We could not see any qualification that he has to even offer a consultancy service. I read to the law in relation to hiring people in relation to consultancy services as well. None of these were followed. He is the least experienced, the least qualified to occupy the positions he occupied at council. And numerous contracts were given to him, numerous payments were made to Kan Mustafa Kani for no experience whatsoever. Now, why was it the case with Kan Mustafa Kani and others in regarding their appointments when it was clear that they were not valid?
Like I said in my statement, it was a political appointment. So regardless of the qualification, it was a political appointment.
The establishment committee, what is your role as CEO?
I am ex-officio member.
Did anyone raise the appointments of Kan Mustafa Kani and any other person in relation to it not being proper?
I did, but not in the establishment and committee meetings. But sometimes I raise the issue with the HR at the time.
With the HR?
Yes. That
who was the HR?
Demboja.
Please proceed with that.
That we ought to be careful because these are not in line with the rules, or what is expected of the council. And
what was his opinion regarding that?
I used to raise a lot of issue with the HR, but later on I learned that anything that I discussed with him, he would sneak out and inform the councillors, and they started becoming angry with me. Yes.
But then you should have still, perhaps maybe.
But in the case of Kanjura and most of these appointments, to be honest, there was nothing much that I could have done as the CEO, because I found Kanjura Kani in the council.
Yes.
Already appointed as advisor.
Yes.
To the mayor, and the council kept continuing renewing his approvals.
But there were different type of contracts given to him, different type of consultancies given to him without following due process?
Yes, serious. But I think if I am right, I think I signed only one. If it is more than one, that it is not more than two.
Yes. And,
yes.
And what was the circumstance surrounding you signing the contracts without following due process?
No, the contracts, the establishment and appointment committee obviously recommend. So when they do their recommendations, there is nothing that the CEO can do except to implement.
No, if the CEO thinks that he didn't follow due process, as a chief accounting officer, you have to tell, regardless of where the order comes from. You may say that this is not in line with due process. Do you not think so? Or it was an instruction? It was an instruction. We will be done with the witness for now, and we want to finish with the witness with KMT. Unless there are questions. Unless there are other questions. Yes, after break with respect to KMT, and allow the witness to familiarize. I am saying we don't have any questions for the witness. We want to proceed with her with respect to the KMT files she had asked for. We don't have another witness.
Are you applying that we rise to give her the opportunity to look at the file so that we can proceed
Yes.
on the KMT
yes.
issue?
Yes.
And with other issues
Yes.
relative to her term as
Yes,
CEO?
Madam Chairperson. Yep.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We may rise. We'll come back after. Council, do we come back after lunch? All right, we may come back after lunch. Thank you. So, Madam, you will consult with the registrar, and he will avail you what you want to refresh your mind on, and we'll proceed. Thank you.
If you also be wasi, hey, kwenye, papa. SM bitters, Osheye, Oda boko, Nabo Yedin, Quadrasto Bia na pharmacy shop, Bia na Kotawadi, Fair Cosiane, Cap Heba Center, Nakwajuwadi, Koblekum newborn chemicals, Basenko Oye Okashi drag lane, repass. Do be our person who to look or repass will look to be. Okashi drag lane stores your whole now be a to any be at home. Many I would hear me, but home what days over Kumasi, Uko Kumasi, Coronac, Danny Farmer, who may be at home, Ferdiments, who may be at home. Sana promise Heba, and so or you pat down, who may be at home. Now Kumasi distributor, your friend of Fake, 12 o'clock, our central market, no, and old friend now when Sabbath Cannon. Edu Heba clinic near your dry acting jeans SM bitters. One no man, no muyo, a quay. But Shabatron, I say, I throw Edu Heba clinic, guasia, a customizing. That was a packaging next year, no boy yet in crowd. No boy yet in crowd was what her boy to SMB test no, Neko Basenka, 70 Ghana cities, SMB test, 70 Ghana, baby, 70 Ghana, Kotobi, a 2 so I catch the why, 70 Ghana, we try a year, SMB test, SM, Obia just Ghana have a beer, one wobble, one flyer, you better deliver at the amount. So what Canada, war France, America, Japan, Vietnam, and now China, and Dubai, or Cuba, and even Kenya, Togo, how could I be delivered the amount? One more Ghana had the upper west, upper east, Pagan and a Brongo for Monko Obiwo, Bolga, your pickup for Hosane, Okotamala, your Uncle George, Kita, ya storm Kita ina, talking for baby, Afrawo, Georgie, any who, Otil region, Voter region, I am my Eastern region, the Yanka, Gaston Pharmacy, Okophobia, Sarah Metro, Obama, Kesima, who can't have Oboho, a fay. Your headquarters Nanka say o Mankesi Befikrum. Oko odokwa odokwa official town. Manle mfida say Edu Heba Clinic. Yewo edru bi edi aba ya say SM bitters. The bitters of the day. When you edru eba abonte ya today strong man. A man for kono say friend Superman. Obi nso kono say hey SM na trending say friend social media. Ekwa yie pa. eno da nchen ya binom so kono me asofo ne malam ne sheik fo no me say hey wonu me SM ma otu mpo wo sunsun nti omo friend spiritual movement, that is SM for you. Afa ye de kwa eye ba bia ye ketwi kasa asante ne atem no hey omo enya 80 years 90 years omo no ma SM eboa mo sisi yare ye kona afa eboa mo tumi bu adwuma mapa SM for you. Hey wonu me SM no wa mo adwuma na se wutiri na enye the whole Ghana drobia ni wa wonu me sisi osisi ma bu adwuma che SM kopa bito hey SM eye koso bia ko draso ne heba shop bia enti omo friend penifo friend semenhia SM se menhia SM se menhia SM se menhia penifo sa na omo friend papa we ye be ma nko ade ma we mfi se Abraham odi mfi do kronkron so san wo ye enti we ye be ma wongo ye koto SM sisi yale ne be free ho we simba obey overhauling no watumi ahu sample one no maduro papa no mane ni ye 0243 989368 and at 05583795545. Afebo humodin na screen nasi. Pick no mano WhatsApp yen. Ubia wanu me SM aje wana wanu mo SM bia no. Aya me WhatsApp e line minu no so. Me voice message ni ehu se wanu me SM de yema wo. Why lucky? Kodraso na heba so bia wo Ghana ha. Ubenya SM bitters, the bitters of the day. Bitters without alcohol, we alcohol in a bitters natural. Baby, obey be ato Ghana ha nyina no. Wo kwata kwa dia mensa. Efie kuma se chas ubenye bi. Saa nso na wokọ eye owas ebidofie watakwa. Eziama me kire axim side we eziama no so owas ho. Afei wokọ eye bogoso a Unique Herbal Center. Saa nso na bogoso wana manfe. Manso manfe ana manfi manso amanfi Sister Beatrice ho. Saa nso na wokọ Priscilla Unique Herbal ho. Kentampo Vic ho. Saa nso na wokọ eye Medina Randy Pharmacy wono so ebo honum VK wono so odome kwabenya ma wure mfi se Oka Pharmacy wono so ewo La Paz na me kai we say Ask Jane wono so ewo eye Cape Coast yadamase
David Ojochre.
Okay.
I'm one of the directors for Abi Creation. As a fashion home there, it has been 30 years.
Wow.
Yes, but as a fashion college, it's 15 years now. Who said 15 years in competency-based education. We have a lot of experience when it comes to how to train the upcoming designers and even those who are already fashion designers. One person upgrade your more. Any face so say we JSS. Now person oh yeah fashion. Now it means fan 12 schools who are investing. And also so you are konya or homa sa engrofon. And I work SSS and so on. Also, say, oh, yeah, fashion. Now, sir, it was. Nina, I work a conyo, and a woman, so on course school that now so, person, I day. To me, Barbie creation, this year, and San Germany be. Na, what's me the bonnet bra, so a wakanya. Courses are, yeah, and dear, say, the far courses now, you advanced fashion.
Okay.
Advanced fashion, for SHS graduates or passion. So obesity fashion and no be fashion designer. Our person or to school so person ye no the born bra and also the 12 school so because certificate are being Ghana Education Service na the mount buying a jatum na no obi a we SSS bia no obefa form na no afele no submit a form no and one no benya admission.
Okay.
Say what's me pursue program. Yo so oka master class na just say hwe senkofo a ebia omo basics na dada obi o ha o basics onimade pam kakra and opese obenya ebi ka ho na ne nsase eyedin and only your 3 months your 4 months. Na enu sisi ampo ni ye admission for such people who upgrade you master class no your models be a yeshe that choose because you who say omo pomade dada and also omo ye fashion designers dada na many bi o ha omo nheda enim ye na we no ya fa say for instance say bridal gowns any corsetry making and many other things such as say uye via ultimate international stage no ye pese ye chewo mo na omu hu ye yie omu wia ombe graduate ye be ma omu certificate I know so fine because of our affiliation with Kumasi Technical University.
Okay.
And just say yeah, just say omo asua ade pam dada I be our school crowd baby dada. I just say we but put my be master class 3 months. Now would they upgrade you in certain areas wow into master class in there or from Kofua or more basics. Sancrophone nemum ye advanced na de home SHS graduates.
Oh, okay.
Master class no you see no ye fancro for just forms are out selling. I'll be to my form no any of our campuses. It me cry and kasa on our WhatsApp that TV national number no only WhatsApp you bet me cry send the form no amount by soft copy.
Okay.
Now the IO admission.
Oh, wow.
Now I send you admissions letter on person school they send the form no matter by soft copy. Now what fail I'll send it back to us. Now I admissions letter they are send
Admissions. Albi College, in collaboration with JK Ultimate TV, have opportunities that will change your life and shape your future. Obtain diploma certificate in career-based TV production from Albi College and JK Ultimate TV in the following courses: camera operation, script writing, TV and film directing, studio and outdoor lighting, sound engineering, video editing, MCR technician, news presentation, TV production, and graphic designing. There's also an attachment and job assistance. This is good news. To enroll online, simply call or WhatsApp us on 055 57 53 630 or 0208 13 5138 and fill the forms with your details and submit electronically, or pick up your forms at Albi College Nugua, opposite Casapreco Warehouse. Build a career that can sustain you in the future. At Albi College and JK Ultimate TV, we have professionals who will walk you through both theory and practicals for each course. The decision is yours to make, and the choice must obviously be Albi College and JK Ultimate TV.
Yadentia kese Africa Renstic Company asweye ede bre Ghana ni ahwefo nyina yakofa nu wanso Zahara Herbal Mixture, Zahara G Herbal Capsule, Zahara Man Herbal Capsules, ana Hindi Herbal Mixture. Uyo obi a ewa pa na ehaw. O Johnson so a wote se o bema mo hyehyew oba wo ho a hu se nsuo bi gugugugu. Eyi ba te se akatoa bema nso a wo private na wo chema. Hu se nsuo bi fifi wo bema mu ba. Genital wat ana herpes ana ehaw. Uyi so aduro ya beboa agyewa fisa ohaw ni nyina mu. Also bema owo low sperm count. Oba oni atenka. Koto Zahara Mixture ani ni G Capsule CB na emwa. Yewo Hindi Herbal Mixture I no so eboa etu a 3D malaria asekora. Typhoid na hawana Hindi Herbal Mixture etu na se kora. Zahara Man Herbal Capsules ayaka aka uye 2 minutes man unya bia beboa amwetima gina wona so sonko kora. Ase yi sisi yare bia so free wakwan. Enro nyina no ebusu wo herbal pharmacy ana chemical shop bia ewo Ghana ha say na afi nso no wo frɛ your numbers nso abetumi ne dinketa ho 0246 348334 ana say 0248 569 335 Caristic Company Limited adrone yeah.
A young girl, 25, 26 years. Into me women's I'm a jai braye. But just I met me 3 months, 6 months. No two no. Zahara Mixture and then the capsules no 2. And I'm in the start say me no me me say be 2 times but me say and so I shall say gugu me and I me say be 3 days time me start women's. Me say so be an coming women's. The last time me women's last year September and this month me women's just say and just small overflow, heavy flow. Ankasa, obi ane ese hormonal imbalance o, cyst o, infection o, edie benti pe se menkwa ya le bebre. Doctor abon me bisa sa de menkwa de aden. Nanso, nyankopon enam current stick for so. Ene mo edro Zahara mixture ne G capsules. Infection no, de ben yo bibia ko less than 200 cedis. Metimi asa me ho yare ama me ho atome. Ameni aje me ho de yamin shamo pa.
Oh, gonorrhea as a minimum nurse attending to syphilis because no commission oh my work panny bear 4 times and we come out here and I'm down for it all back and not all capsules and so back green one back could become me no Tuesday no I did Wednesday na we half fashion and I'm saying from so very very nice man make my say me ho cry to me look I say school is next year fine pa na to be ma me na me last year we na me last year we me to be ma no me na mo this year me go do na fine pa
na me DPO you go check here na yes e wo so enti me ho doctor who number e wo TV show na me fire na me ko to di ti me to ya na me fura na wo kira me se de me no enti me no ya no me ho se since I ba me wi die mu pa sugar na na ha me to ya no to me no to aso me to about no back 5 me to first one second one na me sugar no na was so kaka but they started say me no nyame adom aba fom ti me to ya ka say do ni dey fine so obi ato bi am so ko bi o sugar ni adon to be try me ba ma wo 20 years onye osa almost 5 years ni ma so no so the doctor me hu so enti me wo ti me so na me fa wo number me fra wo na so me nkoto Zahara me to ni nsire na me to supply ni nka ho ana me to na me de ma no doctor na me ba ni koto da ti amoja na nse wo ti mi wo start so wo nu wo dro no moja ni nyina jai na nse ni nyina jai doctor nya mi nsira wo nya mi nya o kasi no ho ato no kura
oh me na tata bro be ye bosumi nsia kura ahuna me twa ni picture kura da o eti me sister bi no si akoto obi a kire na do bi se sahala so to no me ye no ye ma no nti no ene me nko try se beji na beji me nan na ene nya yare ba ako na wo mi mu ni wo ye fun yade mi wo pipi mi wo afikire yade no na de sa yade we menya stroke kura adum na ma me so de me nana si nyina asensen nti enu na nam so na me nana so hunhun afa ma ye bia ma ko hospital ma pa ha ma pa bibidra wo do eka ye no ka kire me se me nkoto sahala me no mo hwe nti me to ba ako na me no me ye no ai san ye no me hu se me nana e so te ena me se be me sato ena me sato ti se me nana ho ne de ni nyina akọ dikitu ebe no mefu ayema me start num wadru no sa ni nyina na ekọ
enuanom ne adofo yefra me Dr. Dawood me na me da Dawood heba hospital ano na enam me so ena ne Dawood ointment Dawood 360 capsules wodwa manso a ene obi adi hu adanse na duwei edutwem Dawood ointment o se fatwi na ebeko ofa Dawood 360 capsules o se sisi na ade wom na drom yenu wei e adwuma bom obi a osisi ye o yapa de obeye ne se wo de Dawood ointment no etwitwe osisi na anopa ene anwumra na nsa bia no na wo de bia bo asawa obetimi de atua wo dware wi a fa Dawood ointment wo de te ne fa sra ta bre kro na no na wonom Dawood 360 capsules no anopa ene anwumre na danse ye na ba amane wo de enko na enko ti adanse ni
Dawood ointment edrowe me straighten and welding the toda me pon djuma na me honam nyina me ye me hu bibi enyi ba se minya sa Dawood ointment we na me twitwia na no paso minya Dawood 360 na me nomo a ese kware me ye adwuma kura se kane no te drowe de edima se mama na be di so asema mama
electrician na ye adwuma ekofia yentimi na Dawood ointment so ye adwuma na obra okodru fia fa twitwi ade be che no na ho aye den Dawood ointment fa twi keke na ebeko
drum use mama hode pa mama metumi gba adwuma bibi e kama e mama ye Dawood 360 capsules and Dawood ointment o memre we no na do we no so twitwi wa aposo e ma ya odi nyina afiri o ma de che otumi be gba adwuma Dawood ointment fa twi na ebeko
da bia amafo company da wo ka musa ko spreader mi secret na nu ani ebudo na ani Dawood ointment ene papa mi sori anopa mi di twitwi mi sisi achi mi ba bia he me ntebre secret ni nie ti so be so te samia we use Dawood Ointment. That's the secret of my taxi driving.
Me a transmission gearbox specialist. Ejuma mi ye. Enkare na me pega ade a, na me nsakura ntimi pega. And I say me ma ade so na lock me sisi. She say if say me share Dawood 360 capsules. And the Dawood Ointment. Aboa me bebre. The dry you know so amente ya mente blebia. Obia mo modin so betimi ape Dawood Ointment. And the Dawood 360 capsules. Enye bi ato.
Odofo se watibi. Edro ya me ka ho asem no. Eno ho adanse ene wono madi no. Ko pharmacy e ben wo. Herbal shop e ben wo. Ne koto Dawood Ointment. Dawood 360 capsules. Na se de enkrofo di ho adanse no. Wo so be di ho adanse. Wo pese wo frɛ ya